What is Sati actually? And is it true that it gives a lot of problems?
In India especially, people may not know about anything else in astrology, but everybody knows. Like in the West, everybody knows there's something called as Mercury retrograde. So
Hmm.
in India, they don't know much about Mercury retrograde, but they certainly know
They
there
know
is
Sati.
called as Sade Sati.
Is it true that person only faces the financial issue?
No, it depends on your chart.
Compound, as you said, compound interest. Does it also include a person's karma during Sati?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, whatever the person has, whatever sufferings we have given to others, that suffering will come back to us multifold times.
Namaste, everyone. I am Jay Krishnaveni, your Vastu expert. In my series of podcasts, where I bring in different expertise to help people to make people aware of what is going around and from different modalities. Today, I have one of the special guests. It is like a dream come true for me because when I started my occult journey, I used to watch his videos. So I'm really privileged and honored for his time that he has given me today. And today's special guest is Bhabajeet Kalita, sir. He has been an inspiration in astrology for many, many people. His videos are truly so much inspiring. Sir, welcome to the podcast. I
Thank you so
really
much.
thank you for the time you have given me.
Thank you so much, madam. It's very good to connect to you, and it's good to see your YouTube channel also, and it's also good to know about your interest in Vastu and astrology and all other occult sciences. So please tell me what would you like to what would you like me
So
to share
first, tell
today?
me, how is your India trip going on? How is India treating you? How are you liking your Indian trip?
Yeah,
And
India.
congratulations for being awarded by Astro Life Sutras.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, India trip is going great, much better than what I imagined and what I expected. So yeah, I am currently in Guwahati. My parents had their 40th marriage anniversary celebration on 4th of December. So
Congratulations. Many congratulations for it.
yeah, yeah, thank you. So we went to different places where I was born, my brother was born, like my father was there 30, 40 years back. So we went to all these places long, like all long history, it's like, and we had a nice celebration, small celebration, not nothing big, but yeah, with all the people that we know since the last 30, 40 years. And yes, now I'm here till 20th of Jan, and my cousin has his wedding on 18th January. So this is the first wedding of my any cousin that I will attend, because I'm in Germany from last almost 10 years, since April 2015. So I have been very unfortunate in that way that I have not attended any single cousin or single friend, like school friend or like college friend, no wedding till now. So I will get the chance to attend my cousin's wedding, and it's in my father's home in his village. So yeah, I'm a bit excited for that. But yeah, there's some like around 5 weeks from now for that to happen. And then after that, I'll be going to Punjab. I will meet Navneet Chitkaraji. He
Yes,
also is a
I
very.
follow both of you very closely. I watch all of both of your videos to get more knowledge. Yes.
Yeah. So I will meet him like in Ludhiana for 3 days. And then, of course, I'll go to Rajasthan, where I'll go to Jaipur, Udaipur, Bikaner, all these places. And then on 8th February, I'll finally go back to Germany with all the memories and with a lot of Indian food.
Would India change prior to your last visit and now?
Yeah, especially I have seen drastic change in my city in Guwahati. Like
Mm,
there is like the infrastructure is like exponentially better. Like
yes.
uh, in general, the airport through the highway to go to my home, it would take like 1.5 hours. But this time when I came, because of all the flyovers and the overbridges,
Yes.
we reached in like 45 minutes, almost half the time. So kudos to whoever has done this, the state government, central government, all the
Yes.
ministers, chief minister, everybody. You're doing a great job. So from infrastructure wise, I've seen a lot of improvement. And yeah, in Delhi, of course, luckily when I was there, the pollution kind of reduced.
Yes.
But yeah, there was like quite some pollution before. But yeah, everything was normal, and I got a chance to see one or two weddings also in Delhi. So it was very good, and I went to Nitin Kashyapji's academy also. He invited me. There were like around 80 to 90 of his students, brilliant students. Like amazing it was, and yeah, God has been very kind so far.
Awesome, awesome. And it continues, and have a wonderful new year here. Celebrate with your family and friends. Moving on to the topic, today we are going to discuss about a very powerful topic which every common man wants to know and fearful of it. It is the Sade Sati. What is Sade Sati actually? And is it true that it gives a lot of problems, problems and problems only? That's what people think of. That Sade Sati gives problems. And is there any positive side of Sade Sati also?
Yeah. So that's a great topic actually, because in India especially, people may not know about anything else in astrology,
Yes,
but
yes.
everybody knows. Like in the West, everybody knows there's something called as Mercury retrograde. So
Mm.
in India, they don't know much about Mercury retrograde, but they certainly know
They
there
know
is
Sade Sati.
something called as Saraswati. Even a millionaire or a person who has no money, from this range to that range, a person who is married, unmarried, unable to get married,
Yes,
divorced,
yes,
everybody is aware that there is something called as Saraswati. Not everybody knows what it is, but
yes.
in general, they think, oh, this is like, nightmare, and if this is gonna start, then my life is gonna be ruined, it's gonna be wrecked.
Mm.
I will be in hell, basically. This is what they think. So now, what Saraswati is basically, so when we say Sade Sat, it means 7.5 years.
Okay.
Now,
Yes,
this is not exactly 7.5 years, but around 7.5 years.
yes,
So
yes,
what happens is, in your original birth chart, wherever your moon is, so then when in current transit, Saturn transits in the 12th house from that moon. So for example, if somebody has their moon in the sign of, let's say, Cancer, for example. So when Saturn will enter the 12th sign from Cancer, which is Gemini. So
Gemini. Yes,
then 2.5 years it will stay in Gemini. Then it will come on top of the moon, which is Cancer, and then the next 2.5 years it will go to the next sign, which is Leo.
next time.
So
Yes,
so basically, for a Cancer moon sign, whenever Saturn enters Gemini and Cancer and Leo, then these 7.5 years,
yes.
the person will undergo this period known as Sarasati. Now, what is this basically? You have to understand. So, as you know, in astrology, Saturn represents the sins that we are about to, the sins which we committed in our previous lifetimes, which will fructify in this lifetime as our sinful reactions. Okay, it's like the karma is going to come back. So that is what Saturn. And what is the moon? The moon represents the mind, and the mind is the most important planet in Vedic astrology. I mean, moon.
Yes,
Why?
yes,
Why? Because the moon actually see, there are two things. One is the sun. The sun shows our kingdom, basically. Like,
yes,
we are doing this recording. I have my passport here, I have my mobile, I have this pen, I have this laptop. Maybe I have a car, I have a home. I have a small kingdom where I control certain things. I
yes,
possess something. I have some land, or some fancy stuff. May not be like Alexander the Great or Genghis Khan or Chandragupta Maurya, but I still own
yes.
something. Or even if I don't anything else, I still own myself, right? So that is what is the sun. But the thing is, I own something, but how do I feel about what I own?
What I own. Yes,
am I happy with the things that I own, or how do I feel? Do I like my stuff? Do I like this life that I have? So that is the moon basically. So now what happens when Saturn transits in the 12th house
Or
from the moon? So Saraswati, as I said, will be three phases. The first phase is when the Saturn is in 12th from the moon. So this is like a warning period. So therefore, what happens during the first phase of Saraswati? Because people think, oh, Saraswati has started, 7.5 years, it's like problem.
mm,
No, it's not like that. You have to understand that the three phases are very different. It is not
mm,
like, every phase is problematic, or every phase is like, good, bad, or, medium, something like. No, every phase is very different.
different, yes.
The first phase is like, it's like the rising phase. Okay. So what is happening is, in the first phase, you start to develop some fear. That is what happens. Now, fear of what? That is the question, right?
Is it that people tend to meet wrong people at a wrong time? They land up in a wrong time in the first phase of Saraswati?
Basically, in the first phase of Saraswati, what happens? It's like it's very interesting. What happens is, actually, in the first phase, nothing happens.
Nothing. But people are already fearful.
Now, what does it mean when I say nothing happens? It does not mean literally that nothing happens. It means nothing happens in front of you. All the first phase is completely the phase of warnings. It is all like, like when you are going somewhere, what happens? You break the traffic rules. Okay, then what happens? Immediately nothing happens. Okay,
That,
everything is normal, right? But in the West, especially, after 3 or 4 days, what happens? In your home, you get a letter. Oh, you have this much, 100 euro fine or something like that, because you broke the rule there. Okay. So the first phase is like the warning phase, where Saturn is telling you, my dear sir, my dear madam, there are areas in your life which you have to pay attention, and you are not paying attention from last, I don't know how many, like last 20, 22 years. And if you don't pay attention, then what happens is, the next phase comes where Saturn is directly on top of the moon. So now, in the second phase, there is no fear anymore, because the danger is in front of you.
the hidden danger which was hiding, it has come in front of you in the second phase.
Yeah. So in the second phase, you are left with two options. Either you face it and you go to the next level, or if you run away from it, you don't stay there. You go to like one level below. This is what happens. So the second phase is very interesting, because the second phase tells you, if you make certain changes in your life, you will be able to go to the next level. In the second phase, what happens? Every area of your life, your health, relationships, marriage, career, wealth, whatever, everything will demand a different version of you.
Mm, mm,
You can't say, okay, it was always like this, so I will do it like this anyway now. So this will not work.
not
You will,
yes.
you will be forced. So now what happens when the second phase comes? People think, oh, my life is, becoming very difficult. But actually, no, it's not becoming difficult. It was always like this, but you were not paying attention to this. Like, for example, I have so many clients who tell me, oh, my second phase has started, and my liver is now gone. So then I asked, then they tell, oh, this Saraswati started, and my liver is finished. Then I asked them, in your first phase, did you get any warning signs?
Mm, mm.
And they're like, no, not really. Sometimes I had pain here, somewhere here. Sometimes, I had some pain here. Sometimes I had some vomiting. Sometimes, some hormones were, a bit low, less or more, my blood sugar levels
Just
were a
took
bit.
it careless and just left it.
Yeah, but there was no indication of liver damage. Okay.
Mm.
And then I was like, that is the warning, and you missed
Mm.
it. That was the beginning of your liver damage, not the second phase. Now, in the second phase, what has happened is the doctor has told you now if you don't take care of your liver, it will go into liver cirrhosis, and the next stage is you leave this body.
Yes.
So, in the second stage, there is very less room for change because the damage
Damage
is.
has already been done.
Yes, the damage is done. But if you really work hard, you cannot roll back, you cannot revert, but you can stop it there.
Mm. Mm.
You still have the power that yes, I will stop it. I cannot take it back, but I can stop it from it getting worse. You can do that. And then when you realize that now I can't be the same old me,
Yes. The realization comes in.
that lazy, irresponsible, braggy, arrogant, or how do I say, like headless, all these tamasic qualities,
Yes.
like behaving like a fool, doing whatever you want, eat anything, anywhere, anytime, talk anywhere, abuse anybody, anywhere, anytime, see anything, anywhere, anytime,
Well,
anything, anytime.
problems with all people you meet around.
Yeah, you're like just hovering around, like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the crest jewel of all the Vedic literatures.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam says, there's a shloka which says, Manorathe nasati dhavato bahi. It means the Manoratha means the living entity, which is we are going in the Manoratha means chariot of the mind. And every chariot has horses, right? The chariot of the mind has five horses.
Mm.
Okay, it is like the five senses that we have. Today, one sense is the eyes. The eyes are saying, "Oh, look, this thing, this object is so beautiful. Keep looking at it." Okay, this place is beautiful. This person is beautiful. This art is beautiful. Then sometimes, oh, this fragrance is very nice. Keep taking the fragrance, whatever. So Manorathena asato dhavato bhai. The person, the living entity is going from childhood to old age to disease to death just in the chariot of the mind. Today the mind is telling, go to India, go to Germany, go to the bar, go to the pub, go to this, go to that, and we are going. There's there is no consensus. We don't know where we are going. Like if you meet people, normal people in the materialistic world, and you ask them, my dear sir, my dear madam, you are trying for this corporate job, you are trying to become an entrepreneur, you are trying to become a model, a pilot, or an IAS officer, or a politician, or a MBBS doctor, whatever. But do you know where you are heading in life? What is the final destination? And most of them will say, we don't know.
Mhm.
We are just doing it, everybody else is doing it. Oh, my cousin's doing it. Okay, so I must do it.
Mhm.
Otherwise, my cousin's gonna get more respect than me. Okay, 20 years late, 10 years later, so I must do it, right? Oh, my neighbor is becoming an engineer. And if you have nothing else to do, everybody is doing MBA, right? So then the thing is, they don't know where they are going. So when you behave like this headlessly, then you ignore all the signs which come in the first phase.
We
And then
also say that moving towards the phases, first phase, second phase, by the time the third phase comes in, is it true that person only faces the financial issues?
No, it depends on your chart. So, for
Hmm.
example,
Hmm.
now this is very interesting. When Saraswati comes, two things are very important. Number one is what what is the overall weak, which are the overall weak areas in the horoscope?
Hmm.
Number one. Number two, which Mahadasha, which Antardasha will you run in those 7.5 years? Now, the dashas will actually tell you if you have external problems. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
But what happens, even if your dasha is excellent, you are getting promotion, you are working hard, this and all is happening. So if the dasha is good, the your Sarasati will not give you external problems.
Hmm. Hmm.
But even if your dasha is like the best of all the dashas, you will still have some problems which are indicated by majority of your
Hmm.
planets. Like for example, in the horoscope, there are 9 planets. So if 5 of the 9 planets, for example, they are indicating that you have procrastination.
Hmm.
So now in career, dasha is good, so you are getting promotion. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
But what is happening, because 5 planets are indicating you have procrastination. So now Saturn is attacking you there.
Hmm. Hmm.
If like 6 planets are saying that you speak lies all the time. So now what will happen when you are speaking lies? Now you are getting caught,
Hmm.
or you are bullying. Like 4 or 5 planets are indicating you love to bully others. So now what is happening during Saraswati, when you are bullying others, others are bullying you back.
You back. Hmm.
So in Saraswati, what happens is people say there are problems. No, actually there are no problems. The problem is most of the people in Kali Yuga, most of the people, they have they have considerably high toxic behavior, very high.
Hmm. Yes.
Like recently when I was flying from Delhi to Guwahati, I was like literally shocked by what I saw. I was like, what the hell is going on here? So the flight landed. It was, still almost in the air. It just touched the wheels of the flight.
Hmm.
It touched the ground. And then I saw, like 3, 4 people, they opened their seat belts and, they're like, oh, we need to pull up the luggage. They started creating a mess around. And the flight crew attendants, they were like shouting at the top of their voice from the front, hey sir, please sit down, the flight has not yet landed, the captain has not put the what is that seatbelt sign off, please sit down, please sit down, and they are not listening.
Hmm.
They're not bothered.
No.
So this is an example of very 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 high toxic behavior. So now,
Toxic.
which is like you are doing something so utterly insensible and insensitive, which can
Hmm.
hurt other passengers also, right? So in Kali Yuga, as the Bhagavatam says, as Kali Yuga is gonna progress further, now it is only 5,500 years around approx, and
Yes.
Kali Yuga is total 4 lakh 32,000 years. So around 4 lakh
Yes.
28,000 27,000 years are still remaining. So as Kali Yuga becomes more and more
We'll see more
advanced,
of these toxic behaviors.
yes, absolutely. Narcissistic behavior, like yeah, people not bothered about others.
More.
They are only thinking of
Yes.
themselves basically. So then what happens is Saturn will now give all the things back. So in short, Sadasati is like mirror.
Hmm. Your life's mirror.
Yeah, it is a mirror of your own actions and your own mind basically.
Hmm.
So during Sarasati, what happens? Whatever you have given to others will come back to you. But the only problem is it comes with interest.
Interest. Hmm.
and that is
Is
compound
it
interest.
compound, as you said, compound interest? Does it also include a person's karma during Sadesati?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, whatever the person has, whatever sufferings we have given to others,
Hmm.
that suffering will come back to us multifold times, and and it will haunt us. So now what happened? Now suppose you are suffering, you had a you had serious health problem, or you lost your job, you are not able to find a job, or you are going through a divorce, or whatever. The first thing you need to do in Sarasati is you have to you have to accept that it is my own karma.
Hmm.
If you don't accept, and you start blaming, oh, it is because of him, them, he, she, whatever,
Hmm.
your Sarasati will be the worst nightmare in 100 years. Because what Saturn does is, when you blame others during Sarasati, it gives you
Hmm.
more people to blame.
More people to blame. Yes.
So then what happens? At the end, you blame everybody other than yourself, right?
Creating more troubles for yourself.
Yeah. So when you blame everybody other than yourself, you feel you are the most helpless person, because you cannot change the person next to you. But suppose you did not do this and you said, no, this is my karma, I take the blame. So then what would have happened? You could have changed yourself, because you have the power to change yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
You cannot
Yes.
change your husband, wife, son, daughter, mother, father, neighbor, friend,
But you
uncle,
can
auntie.
change yourself. Yes.
Even we cannot change ourselves completely. How the hell can we change others? But we can change ourselves to a
Yes.
considerable extent. Not 100%,
Yes.
but we can
To a
change
consider.
70-80%, provided we work hard on ourselves. So when you blame others, Saturn gives you more opportunities to blame new people.
As we talked so much about Sarasati, its different phases, how a person behaves, would you like to share a few things? How does one prepare for a Sarasati? Okay, one person knows that my Sarasati is starting from this particular time. Next 7 years is going to be tough. That's the mindset. How does one prepare according to their chart
Yeah,
without
very
getting
good.
stressful?
Yeah, very good question. So the first thing, as I said, acceptance. You have to accept, not that you will have problems, but you have to accept 100% responsibility of your life.
Hmm.
That is the first step. And to be very brutally honest, 99.9% of the people cannot do it. Because when you accept, because when you want to accept responsibility, then you see yourself in the mirror, and
Mirror.
it's really not nice.
Not.
Okay.
Hmm.
So then, if you once you accept, then number two, you have to understand that now I have to change myself. Not changing is not an option. Then number three, you have to write down in a piece of paper, which are those areas in my life where I am letting it loose, which are those areas which I know that I should not behave like this in a particular way in this area of life, which are those areas
Mirror.
where even after I know I am still behaving like that.
Hmm.
Then the next thing you do is, okay, these are the areas. Maybe I am good with my health, but I am not good in my profession. Maybe I am good in my profession, not good in my married life.
Mirror. Hmm.
So then, once you identify the areas where you should put more efforts, and where you see probability of further changes, betterment, then you have to take steps to see how you can improve that area of life. And then you have to try your best to improve. And at the end, you have to understand that even if you try everything, it will still not work
Will
sometimes.
not work sometimes. Hmm.
And that's okay. You have to leave it to the universe, to God, to your karma. And in Sadesati, your mantra should not be I will I will be the best. Your mantra should be I will give my best.
Give my best. Yes.
And one last remedies people can do is they can always chant, Om Namo Narayana, this mantra.
Mm.
Especially in the second phase, you should chant this, and in the first phase, you can chant Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Vamanaya, because in the first phase, you should ideally develop awareness about your life. As I said, it's like
Mm.
warning signs.
Morning period. Yes.
So this mantra for Vaman Dev, Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Vamanaya, this will help
Vamanaya.
you to become more aware about your own life, because this is a mantra for Jupiter. Then in the next phase, you can chant Om Namo Narayanaya. This is Ashtakshari mantra for the eighth house. This will give you freedom from fear, basically.
Hmm. So the core thing during Saraswati, people have fear, which we talked about.
Yes, correct. And in the last phase, third phase, when things are settling down, you are rediscovering yourself, you are seeing a newer version. To maintain that thing consistently, you should always chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya for mental peace.
Hmm.
Because the third phase sometimes is the most painful, not because of
Painful.
external reasons, but because in the third phase, you realize that I might have to stay without some people,
Hmm. Hmm.
some lover, some friend, some family member,
Hmm.
some
Hmm.
relative, some neighbor, some colleague.
Yes.
Not everybody will be with us in the third
Hmm.
phase.
Third phase. Hmm.
It's a new you. Okay, so third phase is like, during the third phase, whenever I talk to people, not in the beginning of the third phase, like after 6 months of the third phase, when it starts, yeah, they tell me, oh, I'm no more in contact with this person, I'm
This
no more
person.
with this
This,
organization or with this
कुछ और-
group.
I left everything. Yeah.
Yeah, because now the cleansing process has started in the third phase. So my only request to everybody watching this, if your Saraswati is about to start, then don't worry about fear, because that will anyways come.
But anyways, come.
Don't be extra fearful, because you will already be fearful, but you need to understand the fear is not of uncertainty. The fear is about not changing. Okay.
Not changing. Yes.
So we think, oh my God, we don't know what will happen. क्या होगा? सब खत्म हो जाएगा. Everything will be finished. No, actually, that's interesting, because the mind will tell you that this is the reason of the fear of the unknown, right?
Yes.
But that
Fear
is
of the
not the reason of fear. The fear is we know we have to change, and we are fearful of going
unknown to
through
change.
that experience, and we try to cover it up by saying things like, oh, what will happen, I'll get divorced, I'll be fired, I'll go bankrupt. You may get all this. I'm not saying it will not happen. You may get all this, but the biggest fear is the fear of the known. Known means
Fear of
you, because you know yourself.
yes, yes. And that's what matters. Yes.
And we know what a nightmare we are, right? And in
But your
the last
ex
I will say is, once my Shiksha Guru was telling, imagine we had a superpower. We can see everybody's mind.
yes, yes, definitely. As you
We-
explained so beautifully, in simple words for a common man to understand what is Sadisati and how it affects. Once in 30 years, every birth chart, every person has to go through this Sadisati. And we also talked about karma. There are so many people who don't believe in karma. Just my final question, what is karma and how it affects our life, our day-to-day being with in relation to our chart and Sadisati?
Karma is basically Newton's third law. Every action has
Yes,
a
as a
equal
reaction.
reaction, right?
What goes around comes back. Yes.
Yeah, it is very easy to understand. Like, suppose you go and punch somebody's face in the street, what happens? They will punch you back,
They'll
right?
come back. Yes.
Suppose you are a student and you speak badly to your teacher, what will happen? The teacher may not speak badly, but it will reflect after 6 months when your exam report card comes, right?
Yes.
Suppose you speak badly to your spouse,
Mm,
they may not speak at that moment, but they will quote it after like 300 years that, look, 300 years back you said this, okay?
mm, mm.
So, karma is basically, so karma means the actions that we do, and karma also at a Vedic level means the reactions of our karma basically.
Yes.
And you don't have to be like a spiritual person or a believer of God or a religious to understand karma. Karma is basic common sense. It's like
Yes.
if you study well, you will get good marks. I mean, you may not get good marks always, but your probability of getting good marks is high because you know the answers.
Yes. Yes.
If you are nice, kind, respectful, and you don't cheat others, you are in general good, then you will also attract in general good people.
Yes.
If you are crooked,
Definitely.
criminal minded, you will attract
You
all
will attract
criminals.
same.
Okay.
This also you had explained very beautifully in a simple words for everybody to understand. Yes, karma exists because many people deny कि karma नहीं होता है. I'm doing good. I'm the boss. I'm doing very good. But yes, when it hits, that's the time when they come. So thank you so much, Bhabajeet sir, for coming and sharing such a deep insights in a simple way to our audience and sharing the major things about Sadesati from your busy schedule. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invitation. It was a great pleasure talking about Sarasati with you after so many years again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to discuss about this topic, which everyone wants to know, but they don't know what exactly it is. So thank you everybody for watching this wonderful podcast with Babajeet sir and keep watching my channel for more expert talks. Thank you everybody.